Well, as far as I'm concerned, I think this is a very important announcement because probably going back, we mentioned probably 3 years ago about the surging reputation of Sure Insurance for insurance policy value. And any number of people say, oh, well, body corporate committee, we must get a committee organised to approach Sure Insurance. But at that stage, there was a very, very low level of what would you call insurance cover, $5 million, if I remember rightly. And of course, that eliminated a whole lot of bigger blocks of units. And a whole lot of people thought, oh, if only. Well, have a listen to this. I've just put a call through. He's just come to the phone now. I've got Bradley Heath on the line, Managing Director of Sure Insurance, with some very important Strata Insurance news. Bradley, good morning.
Good morning, John.
This is a big one. This is a really big one. You go for your life. Tell us the good news.
Well, look, I think listeners of your show will know that you continually ask me over the years, when are we going to get a higher ability to insure a higher level? And and I've always said, well, we're trying and we're getting the right backing and that sort of thing. I can announce we now do have that backing to ride up to 20 million sum insured for body corporates. Now, that brings into play a lot of much bigger locations and bigger complexes. And so what we say to people is now's the time through the body corporate to go and get an additional quote and get a price from Sure through their broker.
Yeah. Now, in numbers that we can relate to, can you give us an idea of the numbers of units, for example, that have got access to Sure now that mightn't have had before?
It's a bit hard to say, John, because the stats aren't particularly good around the different sizes and the values. No one really knows that from a group, but okay. I would probably estimate it, and it's a pure guess, so please no one pin me on it. I'd say 80 to 85% plus of unit complexes now, maybe more, would be able to insure with us. There are places, of course, that are very, very big where you're talking $40, $50 million sums insured. There's not too many of them, but so the vast majority will be able to get a quote from Sure through their broker.
For example, the biggest block of units, what could that be in numbers of separate abodes?
Oh, well, if you had something like, say, 80 units in a block, you could be talking easily there, I would think, $50 million.
Oh, I see. There you go.
And bear in mind, we're talking about the replacement value. We're not talking about the sale value of each unit. This is the actual replacement of rebuilding the whole place from the ground up. For pools, driveways, car parks, all those sort of things. They can be very, very, very big at that end. And you do see some in Cairns. You probably see more in places like Sydney and Melbourne. But at the moment, we're concentrating on our existing people that have supported us for so long, and that's regional Queensland.
Now, the 5 million ceiling to a 20 million ceiling, just if you had to have a bit of a guess, I mean, how many unit blocks might now be interested in getting a quote?
Hard to say, John. It's very hard to get those stats out of there. We would think across regional Queensland there's probably several hundred that would now, probably more, 500 to plus maybe. 5 million is a reasonably small-sized block, so there was quite a number of townhouse developments, larger blocks where you're talking 20, 30, 40 units, where we can now do that sort of thing, and even bigger depending on the complexity of the block and that sort of thing. So if you bring it back to the number of unit owners, we're probably talking now, I would imagine, there's something like the tens of thousands of unit owners that have now got access to this.
Yeah. You're going to be slam dunked to put on new staff?
We do have additional staff. We certainly do have that. But our staff we've got have been working on this. My own staff have been begging us to get this done for a long time, and they're happy as well because they're able to now. They'll say no to those now. They're going through the quote process. We won't get slam dunked probably because most policies are on a yearly renewal basis. Exactly. So it'll take on average 6 months for them to come up. So, but nonetheless, what we would encourage body corporates to do is start talking to their brokers now and starting the process of what information they need to give. And the more information we can get, the best possible price. we can give, and that's where we are with our home and contents. It's where we are with our strata as well. The more information we can get, the better price we can give.
Of course, with the recent flooding crisis, I presume you're helter-skelter organising relief for your customers in that regard.
It is. It's been a very difficult ride, and nothing more difficult than for customers who've had their homes flooded. It's a terrible situation, and people that go through a very difficult process.
Yeah.
We've had to mobilise staff, builders, all sorts of tradespeople. Our people that go around and project manage these claims, our loss adjusters. It's an enormous human effort, and we've asked people to bear with us during the process. We are genuinely doing our best. We hope our best is good enough, but if it's not, we just need to find out about it, and we'll try and fix it. It's not through a lack of desire; it's a lack of. We just want to get things right for people as quickly as we can.
Now, I would imagine there'll be quite a few members of bodies corporate listening and saying, ask him the contact, ask him for the phone number, ask him for the website or whatever. Slowly, Brad, how do people contact your company, Sure Insurance?
Well, we don't do the strata direct to customers, John, so that's where we would say people should contact their broker.
Okay.
If people want to read up, though, about strata, it's on our website.
Yeah.
So it's sure-insurance.com.au.
Okay.
And that's the best place, and they can contact their local broker. Most body corporates will have an appointed broker in the process, so we would encourage them, and hopefully that's one of the brokers that we deal with, and go through that process.
There you go. Sure, that's S-U-R-E, sure-insurance.com.au, or what did you say? Sure dash, wasn't it? Sure-insurance.com.au is the contact. But it's big news, Brad. It's wonderful news. How long have we been talking about it? 2 years?
Well, probably more. Because, John, it felt like every time I spoke to you, you were saying, well, when are you getting it? When are you getting it? And,
well, people were saying, we asked Brad, when is he getting it? When is he getting it? So I was just passing on messages from people on Bodies Corporate.
Oh, look, and we understood. That's what we kept, chipping away at it. We kept persevering. And it's, we've now got a very good partner to provide that backing. So it's just perfect for everyone. And we just want to get on with it now and start providing the quotes. And if we can save people, we want to be able to save people money.
Excellent news. Good on you, Brad. Thank you.
Thanks, John.
That's Bradley Heath, Managing Director, Sure Insurance, with that Strata Insurance news. Here we go again. It's S-U-R-E, Sure. So it's sure-insurance.com.au. 22 past 11.